there, Stampers! Thanks for joining me today. We are going to be making this gorgeous card using the Stampin' Up! Holy Family stamp set, and I'll also show you how to do this really cool technique pressing vellum and how to make mats for your cards and pictures. Let's get started. Our main stamp is from Stampin' Up's Holy Family stamp set, and we'll be using some of Stampin' Up's Vellum cardstock. This is a 3" by 4" section. We'll ink up the stamp in Stampin' Up's basic black ink, and you'll stamp it right in the center of the vellum. The vellum cardstock dries fairly quickly. You want to give it just a couple of seconds to dry. You're going to take a mat from the mat pack, take your vellum and flip it over to the back side, and then you'll use a stylus to press the back of the vellum. Look at how cool this is. And when I flip it over, you can see it's actually raised up the vellum here and it's turned it white. So cool. So I'll flip this back over and finish. I went through all of the folds of their robes. You don't want to press too hard with this or it'll pop a hole through your vellum. So go medium pressure. Once complete, the back side of your vellum will look like this, and when you flip it over, it looks like this, and it is just unbelievably awesome. And you can almost see right here how this is all raised up. It just looks fantastic in person. I'm going to flip this back over to its back side. I'll be taking a sponge dauber and some really rust ink, and I'm going to just dab that in the really rust ink and just rub it right out on our image. And I'm going to go outside the lines of the original image. And then I'm going to take a 3 by 4 sheet of Very Vanilla, and this will be layered on top. And oh, just see how that just pops right off at you? It's awesome. Now I'm going to put a little bit of snail behind the image and a tiny little bit in the corners. Just be careful because the snail will show through the image and the visible areas when we're done. It really is a wow. Now for the next step, we're going to create this frame for the border of our image, and we'll use the paper cutter for this. I have a 3 by 4 sheet, and here I have my Stampin' Up! Paper cutter. I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to line it up with the 1/2 inch mark on my paper cutter. And then the blade also has measurements on it, so I'm going to take this starting at the 1/2 inch mark, which is right here, and this is where the blade cuts, all the way down to 3.5 inches. So I'll stop before the end, which is 4 inches. And then I'm going to rotate this to I'll rotate it, move back up to the 1/2 inch mark, which should line up with our first cut. Go right down to 2.5 inches this time, which will be 1/2 inch short of the end. And do the same motion all the way around the 4 sides. And once I'm done with the 4th cut, when I lift this up, our center will pop right out. Isn't that cool? So next we're going to attach our frame. And what I did was I lined it up where I wanted it with the stamped image, and then I just trimmed off the extra. From this image so there's no overhang. This way it's perfectly lined up. And then I just put some snail on the back of our frame, and we'll attach that right to our image. We'll be layering this on some really rust cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, just folded in half. I took my really rust and a sponge just to accent the edges a little bit, and that gave us just a little bit of dimension around our edges. Our accent strips are more mustard layered on Night of Navy, and then I'll take some Stampin' Up! Gold cord, and then I'll wrap a piece of Stampin' Up's gold cord around that and tie it in a bow. We want that bow to be really close to the right-hand edge. We'll use some snail on the back of this to attach it to our main panel. And that will go right in the center. I took some Stampin' Up! Stampin' Dimensionals. These are foam pop dots. I put these on the back of our image. We'll put that in the center, a hair towards the top, so we have room for our greeting down below. And you can see that just pops off at you. So beautiful. Our greeting came from Stampin' Up's Many Merry Messages stamp set, and I'm going to use Noel. We'll stamp that in Versamark. At the bottom towards the right, Using some gold embossing powder and a powder pal tray, I'll pour that right over our word. Tap any extra into the powder pal tray. Love these. Pour the extra right back into the jar. We'll take our Stampin' heat tool and we'll heat that. Oh, I love embossing. And our card is complete. Isn't it just amazing? Thanks for joining me today.